Hey y'all, what's up? Welcome back to Roots and Refuge Farm. I just made a cup of late afternoon, we won't call it full evening, though it is, coffee before I head outside. Maya is going to help me with something. I got a package I was going to share with y'all. I don't know how I'm going to carry all this because I need to carry the camera too. Alright, it was a precarious trip, but I made it. I am exhausted. Homeschooling has kicked my tail this week. Now, we will find our groove. It's not hard. I don't actually think homeschooling is hard. I think finding balance in life is hard, and I think starting new things is hard, and I think finding routine and adjusting to mind your convictions is hard. It's all worthy, and I love doing hard things. I actually think that if you're never doing something that you find hard and that makes you feel tired and worn out for a time in your life, then I would hazard to say maybe you're not embracing challenges that you would continually be in growth. Hard is not bad. This week has been hard. Also, so stinking good. The hard things are often incredibly fruitful, and I have 3 beautiful, brilliant, rambunctious boys at my kitchen table every day. They want to know everything. They want to try everything. They are full of ideas. They're just wildly creative and funny and talkative, all verbal processors, and the whole experience has been wonderfully hard. Today is Friday, and we are doing 4 days a week of book work, and then on Friday we do what we call Skills Day, and today we made bagels from scratch, which I walked them through it, and they did it more or less by themselves with some, oversight and instruction, and they made homemade ice cream. And Maya and I are trading off on Skills Day, so every other week. Like, he'll do one a week, I'll do another. Except for sometimes, obviously we'll be flexible because of other things. The weeks with me are going to be cooking, preserving, gardening. Will said he would take us out into the woods and show the boys foraging. Maya is going to teach them tools and the husbandry and all of that stuff. And throughout the week they're doing chores, they're doing other things. But Skills Day is like no books other than journals in the morning, and then that. Maya has done awesome helping me. He's covering history. We're kind of co-covering history. He's helping a lot with math because math is really just not my strong suit at all. And then of course I'm covering language and art. So far it's been really, really awesome, but I'm exhausted. That's why I'm drinking coffee at 5 o'clock in the evening. I think this is my first year in like 7 years of making content here. Oh, snap. Well, they're gonna die. Those are sunflowers.
Oh yeah, they're not gonna make it.
It's been very balmy the last few days. Like, I don't know. It's been warmish. I won't call it warm, but, well above freezing, sunny. I've got freaking sunflowers over here germinating, volunteering. Next week, we're getting the next wave of winter weather, and it's going to be really cold. Like, actually, next week, I have 3 days on my forecast for next week where it shows a chance of snow, and I've never seen that in South Carolina. We'll occasionally get a one-off little dusting, but to have 3 days, and also there's like a full 36-hour period that it won't come above freezing. Honestly, for a lot of you, that's so completely normal that you're like, is that a big deal? For us, it's actually not a big deal, because when Maya built everything on our farm, you more or less built it to the same specs you built stuff in Arkansas too, didn't you?
Closer.
He went significantly deeper with our water lines here than what is common here, because we had done everything previously in Arkansas where it does freeze hard pretty regularly. So when we're getting temperatures in the teens here, a lot of people are actually freaking out, but I don't really, there's nothing for us to worry about. We make sure all the animals have like extra bedding, and we make sure you come through and check all the hoses, make sure everything's unplugged.
Yeah, I turn all the hydrants off and disconnect the hoses so the water will run out of them. I'll put 2 hoses inside the milk room that's got a radiant heater to keep them from freezing.
So you can get water to everything.
Get water to everything else. And then probably our biggest concern is with ice, if there's not a lot of infrastructure and a lot of the power lines are above ground.
Right.
So when ice starts accumulating, if it
Our
knocks out
power goes out
transformers
fast.
it can, yeah.
The
But
other day,
we didn't lose it the last time.
we didn't lose it. It tried. We had to go turn all the electronics off in our house because the power flickered on and off.
Like 15, 20 times.
15 or 20 times in about an hour. Like, I mean, it was in one 5-minute span. It went on and off 3 different times.
Yeah.
Which is not great. So we just went and turned everything off, and we're like, we'll wait. I need to look at Virgie's udder.
Virgie's? Black?
Yeah.
Can you see that from here?
I can see that it's pretty full.
Okay.
It's not like tight. We're close, but I guess we are 4 weeks away from kidding. That's exciting. Sorry. Squirrel, goat, udder, all the things. I'm like, on my farm, if it's squirrel, it's probably like hummingbird, goat, whatever. Or squirrel, you know? There are some really cool squirrels around here. But
Mama's getting close.
oh, really? Our cow?
Well, she had that goop, but then her udder wasn't full, but her udder started full.
Oh, cool. Well, I hope she doesn't have the calf when it's 11 degrees.
12.
Yeah. What was I saying? Oh, we were discussing earlier.
What were we discussing earlier?
We were discussing earlier that if our power actually does go out, you know, one thing we'll have to do is take Newt with us into the camper.
Oh, yeah,
we can't leave
true.
her, our bearded dragon, we can't leave her in the house. But we will go and stay in our RV. We have propane and we can heat it. And if it gets that cold, our house is all electric. Now that we know we're not building a house, we actually have plans to remodel our house and put in like some wood burning stoves and kind of move it over to more something that is kind of more sustainable year round in cases of emergency, because right now it wasn't so bad with Helene, but it was September. Like it was mildly mildly warm, you know, like it was
during the day it was warm.
It
At
was
night,
a
it was
slight
pleasant.
discomfort, but it wasn't a health issue. Like
No.
and we have generators and all that stuff, so we can manage it, but the plan is to get in the RV. Because if it turns to ice, like looking at the winter storm that's coming, if we get any sort of accumulation of ice, I just want to have a plan firmly in place, because the way that our power acted the other day with it icing, it only sleeted for like an hour.
Well, it sleeted during the day, all day, but it didn't really start accumulating until the sun went down. But then after the sun went down, it only was for like 45 minutes. So
yeah, and that whole time
but
our
if it
power
was to sleet at
on the
night,
struggle bus.
like through the night, like we'd probably be in trouble.
Anyway, back to what I was saying before I said 18 other things. This is the first year since creating garden content that I have not been on it making content like as soon as Christmas was over, talking about seeds and plans and all that stuff, because frankly I haven't made any. I do actually have some videos outlined that I plan on shooting this weekend. As I said, homeschool kind of took it out of me this week, but I am very excited for the garden. I am not prematurely excited. You know, normally I'm chomping at the bit as soon as Christmas is over, and I'm miserable by the beginning of February and so ready to start seeds. And I'm honestly not in that space this year. With the amount of transition we've had, I've had enough to be getting on with. Now it's actually coming to be time for me to think about gardening, and I'm really ready to think about gardening. All right, so these are Jerusalem artichokes, which we're pulling all the dead out. Maya and I started doing this earlier, and I was like, I should really get my camera. Alright, so in this bed this year, I took, I don't know, a pound of Jerusalem artichokes and planted them. They grew really tall. They look like sunflowers, kind of Mexican sunflowers. And they got really big and lovely. And all in here are these little tubers, which I'm going to gather out of the soil. And I'm not worried about getting them absolutely all out, but I do want to take most of them. Now, my plan for these Jerusalem artichokes is not to harvest them to eat them this year, but to harvest them to multiply them. Jerusalem artichokes, also fondly known as fartichokes for the gastrointestinal distress.
Hold on, you're making a fart joke?
I don't make that joke. That's what people call them.
You just referenced a fart joke. I mean, it wasn't even until
happens.
last year that you farted for the first time, according to our children.
We can't talk about that publicly.
You made the fart joke, so it's out there now.
Jerusalem artichokes are very widely known to be, I guess, difficult to digest. I don't know. They're also known to be delicious, and they grow incredibly prolifically. My plan with growing these, I grow a lot of things that I love to eat. I grow some things that I like eating okay. I grow some things that, you know, just to try, and some things for the novelty, and I can do that because I have space. But I also like to grow things that are kind of like staple food security things. Now, my stance on food security hasn't really never been from a fearful place. I like thriving and not just surviving, so you will not see me putting a ton of emphasis on tons of survival food. I think that it's good to have options in mind. I love studying history. I love studying the Depression, World War II. How people came out of situations like that was often dependent on their ability to be adaptable when it came to food. So I do think that that's something like to keep in mind, but I also mostly like growing things that I really enjoy eating. The Jerusalem artichokes, I do think they taste good, and I actually don't have a lot of gastric issues with them. I did try some before. Somebody like warned me, you may not want to eat those, and I didn't find them to really be an issue. I imagine it's probably one of those things that different people respond to things differently, but, oh, sorry, that was silly of me. Go ahead. I reached while he was raking. Y'all are missing the good part, sorry. I should give you the view rather than my face. But my thought was, wouldn't it be cool to have such a very prolific food source that you could grow, not just in the garden, but out of the garden? So these are the kind of things that if I plant these, like along my tree lines and my fence lines and stuff like that, they'll actually grow pretty well without me doing anything for them. I can plant these and they'll just grow, and I don't have to harvest them every year. They're just going to keep coming back and spreading and growing more. And then I know that the pretty flowers growing along the tree lines can be harvested for food, you know, if ever they need to be. Oh man, that's a good little one. Oh, hold on. There's more right here. So I planted this first bed with some seed Jerusalem artichokes, which by seed, I mean I just planted them with some bits. And now I'm harvesting everything that came out of them. I'm going to put some of them back in this bed, but first we're actually going to switch this garden bed out with a different one. If any of them get left in the soil, and there will be little bits that get left in the soil, it's fine, because I'm going to just plant some back in here, but I figured if we could get most of them out, it would be better.
We can divide them up evenly.
Yeah. We just keep finding them. Oh, there's a bunch right there. I had no idea how deep they'd get.
I see that they've gotten a lot deeper along the edge.
I wonder why that is.
I think there was looser soil.
Yeah, that makes sense. I do think it's one of, like, life's great ironies that I have 5 sons and hate potty humor. You know it. Like,
Crying shame.
it really is.
So many missed opportunities.
Look at this. There's so many.
Oh, these go deep.
There's another little stash.
Yeah.
So at some point we kind of stopped picking all the tiny ones out. We're just leaving them in here because they're just going to grow. Honestly, I might not even need to put anything in this bed.
Well, we'll just wait and see, I guess. Might not need anything. There's a bunch of small ones still in here.
And probably some big ones too. Get the ones that are right on top because they'll just dry up. Well, dang. I think that probably the amount I planted was a bag that was like maybe right here, what's in my hand, like that. And then there's this bucket. Close to halfway full. That is not bad. Pretty good, don't you think?
Good job.
So the plan is, do you want to try to do this right now?
I don't see why we can't.
We just made this soil all loose and nice. I got these 2 beds from Birdie's Beds. Got a bunch of old logs down in here. And then the rest is going to be soil. And we're actually switching this out with a 3rd bed just so that they're uniform. And I'm going to use this. This bed was not an official round bed. This is from me. There are some of these dark green beds between my high tunnels, and I combined some of them to make them longer, and these were just the spare pieces and I didn't want to waste them, so I put them together.
Yes, we made a round bed.
So I made this little round bed. So when I tried to order other ones, I ended up getting the deeper ones because well, I just like them. I think they're cool. So, but this, I didn't want to not use it. So I'm actually going to move it over here in the middle, because when we do our different pathways here, that'll just be less ground that we have to cover. I had originally kind of had some other ideas for this big middle space, but I'm just going to put that bed there. So Maya seems to think...
Well, you're helping me. We got to pull up on both sides.
I'm going to help you, but I'm talking about your theory here.
Okay.
He seems to think we can pull this up and most of the soil is going to stay in the same place.
I said roughly it's going to stay in the top.
Okay.
And then we'll clean up the parts around the edges and put them back on top.
Because we just loosened that soil up a lot.
Yeah, but it's going to fall some.
Okay. Let's do it. Well, I guess worst case scenario, we easily find the rest of the artichokes.
See, I've got backup plans on backup plans.
Yeah. All right, well, I just ran out of memory on my camera, so I'm going to prop my phone up because we don't have enough light for me to go back in the house. So enjoy the slightly less quality footage. All right, you ready?
Yeah.
I'm losing my ponytail.
What if we can't even get it up?
That's what she said.
We can't make this kind of jokes with the filming going on. You gonna tell everyone that we're Office fans?
You're doing a better job.
Yeah, I figured that's what would happen.
All right, well, your theory wasn't way off.
I like it when you say I'm right. If you pick it and it falls, then you're taking credit for the plan failing. This is precarious.
They're just right here on the
Okay,
edge.
come on.
Okay. Oops, wrong one.
Okay, so what we're going to have to do...
Do you have a shovel?
Of course, I've got shovels.
You did not come to this job prepared, Sour. Oh, there's a good one. I like how you brought 2 shovels. That was so thoughtful of you.
Oh, fill it underneath it, so if we just scrape. Don't try and put it back yet. Let's just do this so we can push down on it and get it all the way seated, and then we'll scoop it.
All right, boss.
That's pretty low. What do you think?
I mean, I'll probably find it, especially...
I mean, it's going to settle.
I just don't want the soil wash. It's got a good deal of space over here.
Okay.
There's like Jerusalem artichokes coming out from the bottom.
Yeah. There we go. We're on the ground all the way around.
Okay.
Look at that. Just love it when a plan comes together. No grass. Sweeter than you anticipated.
Okay, you were right. You were right.
Yeah, it was. Feels good. I'm just going to savor it just for a second, then we'll move on. It's palpable. I'm not really right that much. It's not that she won't say that I'm right. It's that I'm actually not right.
Whatever.
My mom always used to say, Katie, you ain't right.
I forgot about my seeds. Where did I put that box?
Is it still in the side by side?
Greenstock sent me their new seed starting stuff, and I haven't opened it the last few days. It's been sitting in the house. Let's go in the greenhouse. I can't feel my fingers. But I haven't wanted the great temptation of seed starting stuff that would woo me into this warm and beautiful space. But I'm curious to look at it. I slit the packaging open, but I haven't taken it out and looked at it yet. Let's see what's in here. Seed starter kit. Instructions. Oh, that's cute. Okay, that's green stock instructions. Here's the seed starter kit. Well, this is cute.
Yeah.
Okay. This is cute. Okay, so here's the tray. And this, I looked it up on the website because I wasn't even sure, like I didn't know much about it. And before I came out here, I was gonna open it. So you get this tray. They sell them in like a 1-pack that includes this whole thing, or you can bundle 4 of these.
Well,
there's that.
So that's possible. We weren't sure, but we checked.
It's made of the same plastic as the green stalks.
Okay.
It feels nice and sturdy. Bottom watering tray.
Pickup tray that's got the slits in it.
Which has this tray, which has a handle in the middle. And then, cool. Well, this is what I thought was cool. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of these. And the original green stalk is 5-tier, and each one has 6 pockets. So the idea is that you can plant the plants for 1 whole green stalk. In this, and they send you this, which has space for you to make your plan. So you can mark out
that's actually pretty cool.
What's in it. So there's 2. This is enough so you can make 2 plans. That's pretty cool.
That's cool.
Well, I'm excited. Thank you, Greenstock. I do have a link for Greenstock that I will put down below. I've been working with Greenstock for almost as long as I've been creating content now. We got together my first year, which was also their first year, and we have grown together over the years, and I really appreciate them. Family business. These are all made in the United States. All that jazz. So that's pretty neat. Honestly, I'm just so excited to start seeds. My seed starting collection is rather hodgepodge this year because I'm really not buying a lot of new stuff. I'm mostly just using what I have. And
we're also going to be planting less this year.
I am planting less, but more on that in the next video. Now we are out of light and I'm cold. We bless you guys. Until next time.